If everyone could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic, and one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I welcome everyone to our township meeting. First note is we did hold an executive session on July 24th for legal and personnel matters. And next on the agenda, we have recognition. Mr. Stackhouse, would you like to lead us into this?
Commissioners, thank you. I'd like to take a few minutes to highlight the important work being done by the Fire Marshal's Office and to recognize one of the outstanding team members. Our Fire Marshal's Office is comprised of a full-time chief, deputy, and 2 part-time assistant fire marshals. Together, they manage, oversee, and enforce County Township's fire and property maintenance codes, along with the ordinances related to life safety. Their responsibilities include reviewing land development plans, fire protection plans, overseeing our commercial fire inspection program, delivering public fire prevention and safety presentation, and responding to emergency calls with the fire department when needed. To ensure we continue providing the highest level of service, our fire marshals are constantly engaged in training and professional development. They maintain multiple certification and stay current in the latest hazards, trends in prevention, mitigation strategies, and emergency response techniques. Tonight, I want to recognize someone who exemplifies this commitment to professionalism, Assistant Fire Marshal Tom Bell. And I ask Tom to come up.
It's Tom.
Tom began his career in Cal in 2011 as a career firefighter with Thorndale Fire Company. In 2022, we were fortunate to bring him on as a township fire inspector and fire marshal. Since then, he has become an essential member of our team. Over the past 3 years, Tom has earned certifications as a fire inspector, fire and life safety educator, and most recently, fire investigator. He continually seeks out both online and in-person training, always striving to deepen his knowledge in fire prevention, emergency response, and mitigation. Tom consistently brings a positive attitude to work and is always ready to tackle whatever needs to be done, whether it's a complex inspection, an emergency call, or a community education event. It is with great pride that I recognize Assistant Fire Marshal Tom Gravel for his dedication, hard work, and continued service to the residents and businesses of Cowan Township. Tom, thank you for all you do.
Oh, yeah, let's step.
Just as of our appreciation, I wanted to present you a certificate of recognition. Basically, it's what I just said. I appreciate it. Commissioners, if you'll indulge us, since time's up, Tom really heads up our community education and fire prevention programs. We were going to demonstrate the digital fire extinguisher training system that you guys just recently approved us to purchase.
Right.
So I'll turn it over to Tom.
I think
If you around, they can see it on the screen. We
Yeah.
can see it on the screen.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, the camera is right behind you.
There you go.
It's behind you. Everybody out there see it?
Tom, you. I was going to say you're lovely. I'm going to introduce one of our career firefighters, Zach Holmes.
Welcome,
Thanks
Zach.
to the generosity of the commissioners, all the residents of Cowan Township, we were fortunate enough to get a fire extinguisher prop and training device. Tonight's the second night that we have brought this out. We have to finish up the PowerPoint to put the formal training together,
and then we'll start to roll it out to all the places that we already do their employee safety training, and to roll it out to anybody in the public that would like fire extinguisher training. So we're going to give a quick demonstration of this. So this is built by Line. It's the Bullseye thermal imaging fire extinguisher training prop. It gives you 3 scenarios. So we can do a Class A fire, a Class B fire, and a Class C fire. So like every commercial structure has, they have all, it's called an ABC extinguisher. We can do all 3 functions and put out all 3 fires. And that's what this training prop simulates. So what Zach is holding would be a residential one. This would be an extinguisher you would find in your house. And that would be at the commercial size version of it. So we'll give a quick demonstration. Right now on the screen, you can see we have a Class A fire. This is just a common combustible fire. With this training prop, we can increase the difficulty. We can increase flare up. So as you put it out, we can simulate, say you had a grease fire at home and it's not going out and you keep flaring it up. So we can give you a lot of different options and show you to the best of our abilities without actual live fire, what it would be like to go through the full scenario of grabbing an extinguisher and putting it in service. So right now on the screen, we have our fire going. Zach has the residential extinguisher. This is a smaller extinguisher. So our extinguisher's on. You pull it off the wall, pull it out of the pump, whatever you have it in. So we teach the pass method. So pull. So you're going to pull the pin, pull the tag off. He's going to aim. So you're always going to aim at the base of the fire. He's going to squeeze his nozzle, and then he's going to sweep back and forth. What you'll see on the bottom of the screen is as that light is green, that means you're putting out the fire. That light turned red, you're missing the fire. And he gave a total time. So we had the fire running from the time it started. So total time was a little bit longer than it normally would be. But as you restart this each time and the person puts out the fire, it'll get their total time. And then we can give you critiques about how you did it, anything you would change or better. So this will be rolled out Tuesday night. Everybody coming to National Night Out, you'll get to be able to see this, try it, play with it. And then as we get the training program rolled out, you'll be able to go through the website and contact us, and we'll schedule any type of training you guys might have. But thank you again for the time and the recognition and for your generosity for getting this training device for us.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And I will say public education is the #1 way to be able to save lives. I mean, this is a perfect example. So Tom, really appreciate the exhibit.
Yeah.
And that will be a National Night Out as well?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you so much. All right, next on the agenda, citizens to be heard. These are for the agenda items only. Anyone here in the township building? Yes, please take the mic, just a name.
My name's Andrew Curtis. I live at 230 Park Drive. And I'm here to speak about the waivers that the list of waivers that we received the other day regarding the stormwater management waivers. And I want to speak to those. And I want to start by saying, like, I feel like I've been here before. It's like, here we go again. The last time I was here involved the I believe the same piece of property that was going to be used for a seniors living facility. And I talked back then a lot about our concern about the construction that would go there, how the things were going to be changed, and the concern that we have that would increase the amount of flow of water that would come through our backyard. My house literally sits in the floodplain, and we have had our basement flooded out twice in the many years that we've lived here. We've learned to cope with that and have learned how to manage it ourselves in a way that has helped us a little bit to deal with that. But we still face that possibility. Waters have come through there. It's like a rushing river often, and the water has come as far as our front yard. In a particularly big storm a number of years ago. But I do want to just go through a couple of points on this waiver list that I do have.
And not to speed you up or so, but if you can just make the points because we are going to go into discussion with it as well.
Understood, understood.
Okay, thank you.
Under the design waivers, parts C or parts E and F, our concern is in asking for this waiver for buffer zones 1 and 2, that the waiver is being asked for to allow for what's called a limited disturbance within those 2 zones. And we're concerned about how that limited disturbance is being defined, and concerned that the removal, if you, with the disturbance, if you will, of the ground cover could in fact cause a greater amount of water to be brought through.
Okay, and I'm sorry to interrupt there, but that was under the design waivers?
Yes,
Okay, what we're discussing tonight is strictly for the stormwater management?
okay, no problem.
Okay, so if we, yeah,
No problem.
no problem.
On point G,
Yes,
the, they're asking for a waiver, uh, there's a non-disturbance buffer that could be reduced to setback on the site connection, but no less than 10 feet. The applicant is requesting relief to allow a disturbance within 10 feet of wetlands, as previously approved by the ordinance requirement that is not in place at this point. So we're just pointing that out. Down on point L, this section requires that the basin be designed to detain the quantity of water resulting from the storms up to the 100-year 24-hour storm under full development condition. Applicant requests a waiver of this section to permit stormwater design based on actual proposed and impervious coverage. My concern here is what's this stormwater design going to accomplish in terms of limiting and even possibly holding back the amount of water that is through a fairly heavy rain that's going to come through. We have a storm coming tonight, and we're expecting that our backyard is going to be another Michigan River, you know. And on points M and N, these two, the waiver that's being asked here is for the basin discharge in the floodplain to the east of subject property is involving that the lines of the line are designed and constructed to include discharge to adjoining and or contiguous properties. That's telling me that something's being removed for their benefit, but is going to be harmful to us on the other side of it. And the same thing applies again to N. Down to S, the section states that the minimum distance between stormwater facility and the property line shall be 50 feet. Applicant requests waiver of section to allow a distance of 10.68 feet to the property line from the center of, et cetera, et cetera. That's a 79% change. And that just tells me, and keep in mind, I don't understand 8% of what's going on here. But what that says to me as a citizen that sits in the floodplain, that now my risk has been raised 79% under this particular issue. That basically gives you the ones that I've highlighted.
okay,
Our concern, bottom line, our concern, as it was the last time, is anything that's going to happen on that property that's going to change the amount of water that's going to come from that side, from the west to the east, is going to put in harm's way the houses that live along that culvert, where that water comes rushing through like a river oftentimes. And our hope is that you will take the steps and see. I don't know the ultimate decision made on the last project that was there, but apparently he didn't like what was going on and pulled out, or wasn't going to meet these things. Our hope is that you will take this into consideration when you vote on these things, and remember that changes that could cause a greater amount of fluid that's going to come through that culvert puts these houses on Park Lane, and I'm certain in other areas too, put these properties in greater danger of having their homes flooded out. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
all right, thank you so much. Any other residents here in the township building? No other hands raised? Anyone in Zoom? So used to looking over this way. All right, none at this time. Gentlemen, you taking off? All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
Very much.
Thanks for bringing the rescue out there. It looked pretty impressive when we pulled in. Well, with that said, I will reach out to our solicitor, Ms. Camp. We have 2 items on the agenda.
Hi, guys. I'm remote. I apologize.
No
I
problem
am
at all.
moving my daughter into college. Is the ordinance matter on the agenda first?
It would be good to do it first.
Okay, so this is something that Ray brought to our attention.
We're
Can you hear
skipping
me
the
okay?
1.2, by the way. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thanks. So, you have in your property maintenance code, you require vacant properties to register with the township. So the township is aware of which properties are vacant. And one thing that was, I don't think it's very unclear, but we want to make sure it's absolutely crystal clear, is that when you have a commercial building that is broken up into various tenant spaces, each tenant space that's vacant must register as a vacant tenant space. So the way to make sure this is crystal clear, I think Ray had cited a property owner for this, and the district court had raised an issue about whether it was clear whether each tenant space had to be registered as vacant. So we wanted to make sure there was no question. So what we're suggesting you do is in your chapter 120 of property maintenance, specifically under the chapter 11 that requires vacant buildings to be registered, we're going to add to the definition of building the phrase at the end that says that for purposes of this chapter 11, a building shall include any individual tenant space, however owned in a commercial building. And my version has a typo, so I won't make owed say owned. But this is a simple
Thank
change.
you for
Again,
catching that.
something that Ray had suggested for purposes when an owner of a multi-tenant space thinks that if, one tenant space is vacant, he doesn't have to register, he or she does not have to register it. This will make that very clear. So a simple change. This only would require, if you're comfortable with this, we would need you to authorize advertisement. This is a 7-day ad, so we could do it at your meeting. I think you like to do these at your second meeting of the month, so we could do it at your meeting on August 28th.
All right, commissioners, any comments, questions?
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Easy enough. I'll reach out here to the township building. Any comments? Residents? None of this time. Anyone in Zoom? Easy enough. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Young. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So what we'll do is we'll advertise that and we'll hold a public hearing at your August 28th meeting. The next item is the discussion concerning the Bondsville Road Apartments. They came to your prior meeting to discuss the waivers that are needed. I just want to make sure that the board understands procedurally where we are. They did obtain final land development approval from the board in, let me make sure I have the date right. June 14th, 2018. They, under the municipality's planning code, a developer has 5 years to substantially complete the public improvements. If they don't complete substantially complete the public improvements within that 5-year window, which starts from the date of preliminary plan approval, then the applicant, it doesn't mean that the plan is no longer approved. It doesn't mean that the applicant can't build the plan. What it means is that the applicant has to bring the plan compliant with ordinances that were adopted since the date of preliminary plan approval. The applicant has confirmed with the township, and we agree, the only ordinance that was changed since the date of preliminary plan approval is the township's newly adopted stormwater management ordinance. As a result of that adoption, the applicant is here back asking the board to grant various waivers of sections of the stormwater management code. I think we went over this in great detail at the last meeting. The board chose not to take action at that time. I'm assuming the applicant is in the audience with their engineer, and I think the board wanted to go through these and individually handle each waiver request. So that's the preliminary beginning. I'm happy to answer procedural questions, but otherwise I then think you should turn it over to the applicant and their engineer to walk through each request.
Please.
Yeah, I think Kristen pretty much summed it up exactly where we are. We had secured all these waivers. And really the big difference is not that we're looking for new waivers. It's now they're in a different section of the code. So it's what we redid on June or July 14th. We sent in the letter. We kind of put it in two columns. So you can see what was previously approved and what's the current translatable code as it pertains in the stormwater
Mhm.
ordinance. So we're not asking for anything more than what we asked for last time. It's just in a different section of the code. So the plan was built. In fact, Abby, when we talked about possibly pulling up the GIS map, so you guys just get a better sense of where the project was. It was approved in 2018, but in 2017, if you, yeah, you can roll back the time on these Chesco views, which is great. So you can see in 2017, Scott started to break through some fill. We got a separate grading permit out on the site. And we were required, when we brought this fill in, to build the detention basin. So the detention basin we're talking about is physically on site now. If you go forward a couple of years, I think you'll see that the site it's like 2020 maybe, yeah. It's grown in, the basin is in place, it's stabilized. So all the design parameters that we're discussing are built. Okay, so really it's just kind of the process. We can discuss each one. The other point that I want to make, and this kind of lends itself to the riparian buffers, was there was a special exception required for that. So not only did we have to go through the land development process with the planning commission and the prior boards, we also had to go to the zoning hearing board to get special relief for that. So when this project was done, it was under great scrutiny, and we had to get permission from DEP, the Corps, the state, conservation districts. So we've been through all kinds of scrutiny to demonstrate that we are not increasing the flow. And one of the benefits of, say, a riparian buffer is to improve the water quality. And when we have our project and we're putting our basin next to the property line, any runoff from the building is going through that detention basin, which is improving the water quality. So it's the same effect as a riparian buffer. The other thing that should be noted, and this is for some of the neighbors to the south, is
Yeah, go ahead. In fact, bring the microphone with you.
okay.
Make it a lot easier.
Just because I want everyone to be clear with where we are. This stream is going to be widened to better carry the flow. And we have a bridge going in here that is about 5 times larger than the bridge that goes under Bondsville Road to meet the design standards. So anything coming through here, right now, the flood water comes across the back of that. That's all going to be directed through this channel, at least to this point, which is as far as we could get with DEP approvals. So I don't know where you are on this curve, but hopefully it will improve things coming down here, because I know now the water floods across there during big floods. But the intent was, we can't increase the stormwater management leading the site. We have a green roof on the top of the building to decrease the flow. We have amended soils in the detention basin, which will absorb the evapotranspirate, the runoff. So really, we're trying to address everything possible with regard to this. Now, it sounds like you want to go through one waiver one by one, right?
Yes.
All right, so the first one is,
Can I ask this question
Yes.
first? I'm sorry to interrupt. Let's refresh my memory. In what year were the waivers and the special exception approved?
the waivers, I think the final plan was granted in 18.
Well, that was, yeah, but you had to have the waivers and the special exception before the final plan was approved. So
Actually,
when,
The special
uh,
exception,
first-
Mark, was,
Yeah.
March of 2014 was when they applied for the special exception. December 13th, 2016, the zoning hearing board issued the decision order granting the special exception with conditions. September 14th of 2017, the board approved the preliminary land development plan with 20 waivers. And those were, at the time, the stormwater ordinance, it was actually, the stormwater regulations were largely within the Saldo ordinance. And there were some Saldo waivers also granted with the preliminary plan. And then the final plan was approved June 14th, 2018.
Thanks. And the only answer I was really looking for in there was when were the waivers and the special exceptions approved? So it'd be 2016. Ray, in what year was the stormwater regulation changed?
2023.
Thanks. That was in 2023. What year was Hurricane Ida? 2021. How much was the bond the township had to take out to repair the damages from Hurricane Ida? 8 million? And who is paying for that bond?
Taxpayers.
Taxpayers. Thank you. I have no more questions.
All right, if you can continue.
The first waiver is G, Stormwater Management Section 135-301T, the grading setback requirements. And we're just looking for relief, and it's kind of redundant based on the special exception and the fact that we're grading along the channel, but kind of in the abundance of caution, we had requested the waiver prior and been granted relief under section 137-44. This one is 135-301T.
And again, the special exception was that you're mentioning was from 2016, and that's 5 years before Hurricane Ida. Just make sure that keep that at the front of our minds.
Yeah, and it should be noted, Hurricane Ida was a 1,000-year storm event. It was 11 inches of rainfall.
They're getting a lot more common.
Yeah,
They're getting a lot.
I
more
mean,
common.
you know, you have design standards that are to a certain threshold.
I lived through Hurricane Sandy, looking at it. I've seen it come breach the
Yeah.
Hudson River and take out
I
the
grew up
entire
with
city.
Brandywine. You know,
I
Agnes was here,
it's-
Ida was here.
I moved here in
It-
2017, and since I got here, I've seen every storm get worse. That's all. You know, just
Well,
making a statement from here.
I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
I think Agnes held the mark until Ida came along. And that was in 72.
Commissioners, any comments on the section 135-301? We'll just go line by line and then go back and vote.
135-301T,
Any questions on? Yeah.
grading setbacks.
Jane, are you with us there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just making sure. All right, let's go over section 135-306.
135, 305, and 306 are water quality and infiltration requirements. As we discussed last time, the site does not infiltrate. You can't force a site to infiltrate. All you can do is what's required typically under the best management practice manual, the conservation district, which is amended soils, evapotranspiration. We also have a green roof on the building, so that any rainfall that lands on the roof will be absorbed on the roof and be evapotranspirated back into the air, so you'll have no runoff from that. So we're doing everything within our power to mimic or reduce the runoff, and to get less runoff from the site. Doesn't infiltrate, but it doesn't infiltrate today, won't infiltrate tomorrow. So that's why we get that relief. But it's clearly meeting the intent of what that section of the code is.
All right, commissioners, comments? Under this time, 135-307, a 24-hour on-site attenuation. Did you say that?
I suggest, again, another technicality, it's, the rainfall, is expected to discharge or infiltrate within a 24-hour period. We are required a little more than that. I think it was 36 hours or thereabouts. Again, part of that is through evapotranspiration, through the plant uptake.
So with this recent storm that we just had during the day, I don't know if it hit Calhoun, it hit Fraser pretty hard. Something like that where it's dropping an inch or so. I mean, how would that apply for this 24-hour?
I would believe that would be all absorbed and gone in 24 hours. Yeah, it's the Delta 2 that what is it? It's Normally it's the what they call the Delta 2. This is the 1 year, 24 hours. So that's 2.7 inches roughly
Okay,
in 24 hours.
all right. Commissioners, comments? Right along, 135-311, stormwater cover assumptions.
Yeah, and I should make note that the next 10 are all design friends that are all your like stormwater management basin, kind of a one size fits all, whether you have a 100-acre drainage area or a 1 acre drainage area. It says your pipe should be this big, your basin should be this wide. Um, for the first one, A2 is the stormwater covers assumptions, says that you should assume that the lot has maximum coverage of impervious. So if you're allowed 65% on that lot, design it for based on 65%. So this is kind of a technicality. We can't. A lot of this has floodplain. There's some wetlands on the north. You can't build in that area. So why would you design your basin assuming that there would be impervious in the area? So we said we already have built the site with all the parking, everything that we need, sidewalks, everything else. Why not design it based on what's actually there? And that's what we're asking for. And that again was relief that was granted prior, and that's the way that basin has been constructed.
All right, comments? This time, the storm sewer size and slope.
Again, this is just a kind of a design parameter. It said that we need a minimum 1 inch for 1% slope. The site is very flat. We have some slopes that are 0.5%. We've done all the hydraulics. It's been reviewed by your
Okay.
engineer. Everything works from a hydraulic standpoint.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Section 135-311, the basin design development conditions.
Again, this is similar
Here.
to the cover assumptions. Designed all the storms, assuming full development, based on what the actual coverages are. So it's a little redundant from A2. It's I2. All right. This was section 135-311I5 is the basin location and discharge. Obviously, the basin is constructed there. When we went through the conditional use with the prior board or several prior boards, we had requested that we have our discharge down a little bit closer to the stream to Beaver Creek, and they were agreeable to that. So we have an easement, and what we do is we pipe it out there and then you put it in a level spreader so it mimics surface flow, and then that flows into the creek. So it's just directed. Obviously, it's off our property in an easement.
Into
that's why
Town
we need to
Township's
relieve-
property.
Yes,
And Beaver Creek on that map, is that the
the blue upper left.
left area?
Yep, there it is. And that's
Okay.
township land, right?
Okay, that's
Park
on
Terrace.
the opposite side of Park Drive. Park Drive is on the bottom section of this map. Yep.
Mhm. And we're already seeing Beaver Creek can't handle what's coming at it now. Neighborhoods around it can't handle when Beaver Creek can't handle.
135-311J2 is the top of berm width. Again, this is kind of a one size fits all. It says it's got to be 10 feet wide. Doesn't matter if it's a 100-acre drainage area or like this, where it's an acre and a half. And we've just asked to reduce that to 5 feet. Doesn't affect the hydraulics of the detention basin, how it works, anything like that. It's just the construction, and it's overkill, quite frankly, for what's needed out of it.
Where would the berm be?
The berm is.
Yes.
Don't need this. Top of the basin. Probably about 3 feet high or so. So it's about this high, 5 feet wide. What you see is that horseshoe is a rock filter for the discharge pipe that filters out the sediment before it discharges during construction. That's a temporary measure. All right, the next one is 311J3. And the ordinance requires a minimum slope on the bottom of the detention basin to be at 2%. The idea there, that's a really kind of an outdated idea, is so that you make sure that no water sits in the bottom of the basin. Now, with rain gardens and things like that, you want water to sit in the bottom of the basin. And especially the way we have the amended soils and the plantings in there, that's where you get your evapotranspiration and the uptake from the plants. So that's kind of in contradiction to what the MPDS requires.
Is that going to be a rain garden?
It's designed as such, it's amended soils.
But it's not going to be a rain garden.
It's going to function as the rain garden. Yeah.
But-
And there's different, I forget with the MPDS exactly whether it's a rain garden, bioretention. There's different parameters for each. I don't want to, I don't recall exactly which design parameter this was, but it functioned as rain garden or a bioretention area.
But the standards are still 2% minimum slope,
That's the waiver we're requesting.
right?
Yeah,
Because
you do
they
not
haven't
want the two-
recognized that it's outdated yet. So,
No, this is outdated relative to a rain garden bioretention.
no, I understand that. What I'm saying is that the regulations still say 2%.
Yes, which is why we're asking for the waiver. Correct.
All right, the basin riser design.
To this, is, again, the design parameters, we've got a riser that rises up and then a pipe up the bottom, and this is the distance between the top of the riser and the emergency spillway. Again, given the small hydraulic area that this is looking at, a little over an acre, you don't need that safety factor. Normally what they tell you, again, if you have a 100-acre drainage area, they want certain safety factor above the top of the riser to the emergency spillway. Well, if you have 100 acres, obviously you have much more water coming down and you need that buffer. What it does on small areas like this is you end up with more volume for safety factors than you need for the actual storm events. So this is just saying, look, we've run the models, it's up to here. We have a little bit higher until we have a spillway, and then we have the basin berm up a little bit higher than that. And again, that was previously approved, and that's how it is constructed out on site.
I'm just trying to keep in mind, all of these parameters are really basically to keep the stormwater on your property, on the property itself, except for what's going to end up in our township.
Right.
Property. Just trying to keep that in mind.
Well, some of them don't necessarily function like the top width of the berm. The idea is that if you had a 15-foot high berm, they want plenty of volume behind that. So they have what they call a phreatic line where your water would penetrate. Well, if your basin's only 2 feet or 3 feet high or only 2 or 3 feet of water, you're not going to penetrate the back of the berm. So you're not going to have a berm blow out because it's not built big enough. You've got plenty of capacity there, and the volume is below what would be on the adjacent property. If you know what I mean, if you had a big berm like this and your water was up here, the water could seep through the berm and ultimately, worst case scenario, blow out, something like that.
Mhm.
When your basin's this deep, it doesn't have that ability.
I'm sorry to interrupt. My thought process here is coming from the Beaver Creek. If that overflows during the storm and it's coming towards your property, the berm will actually prevent it from coming onto your property. But will it direct it more towards the Park Avenue folks? I think this is what they're concerned about.
It's outside the floodplain.
Okay, and it's out on your property.
It's outside the 100-year floodplain.
Now, I recognize hurricane,
Mhm.
but that hurricane, it was flowing in my neighbor's backyard, about a 20-foot wide stream of water.
Mhm. And I'm just trying to keep it in perspective. You're on Marshall Drive, or no, you're Park Drive. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat either.
Yeah.
I have a building in Downingtown, we have a foot and a half of water, it's never been there. I mean, across the coffee cup, it's like,
Mhm.
that was crazy. But we,
Yeah.
you know, there are certain standards and we have to build to those standards.
Right.
And those are the guidelines for the
That-
property, or
Yeah.
it would look a lot different than when I moved here, you know, like 60 years ago, whatever.
That's why this is difficult.
Yeah, I understand. I
Hmm.
believe.
The language that keeps coming up over and over again and here just keeps popping out at me is um, limited space available due to the presence of wetlands and floodplain. uh, Impervious cover, proposed impervious covers because of the limited site of area available.
The request for the waiver.
I'm
is
sorry,
to
could
actually
you let
put-
me finish, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Limited site area suitable for construction due to the presence of wetlands and flood hazards, due to the presence of wetlands and flood hazard areas. Um, that just, you know, I'm sure you want to respond, and I will give you that courtesy, but that's what I know how that I'm reading this, and like I said, I walked Park Drive after people lost everything. I've known someone who lived in this township for many years who eventually sold their house because they rebuilt it 3 times and they just couldn't do it anymore. So I appreciate this. But I'm good on anything that's going to be any responses right
The 311J12, the minimum separation distances. Um, our basin is going to be close to the building. It should be noted that the building is on slab and about 4 or 5 feet above the 100-year flood elevation. So, one of the concerns, or one of the reasons that they typically want a minimum separation distance is that you can have water next to a building that could go into the basement, where you're introducing groundwater into a building that that's close by.
Mhm.
You know, clearly that we're on slab here. There's no basement. It's not a concern. The building is going to be off the corner and it's well below our finished floor elevation.
With that said, for the minimum separation distance, you go from 30 feet down to 5.92 feet. My concern, not so much our property, but the house that your driveway is next to. Um,
This is for the basement. The stormwater facility. Stormwater facility is up in the corner, right
Mhm.
corner of the lot. So it's all floodplain behind it. So there's no structure within 100 plus feet other than ours.
okay, so
And are you
the
talking?
5.92 feet is only specific next to our property,
I'm sorry,
the 5.92 feet.
is the proposed apartment building to the detention facility in the upper right. Apartment building will be
Okay.
this area.
Okay.
Again, this is Beaver Creek, this is floodplain. And this facility up here is just gonna have the road next to it. This is a temporary construction.
Right.
The actual entrance is gonna be here.
That's across from the culvert.
That's just
Right next to the-
south of the culvert.
Okay.
And the last one at the 10 feet from the property, center of the berm to the top of to the property line. Same sort of thing.
Yeah.
So this is just specific for the berm, not necessarily the property that your driveway is next to.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And, you know, again, this plan has been scrutinized for years. The use on the property was determined after probably a year and a half, 2 years worth of meetings with the township, with the planning commission. The actual amendment was revised to allow for 8 restricted apartments because that was the best use for the property when we were meeting with that board at that time. We looked at combining it with the property to the north and even one more to the north behind the landfill. We looked at all kinds of different things, and it was determined that the best use for that property is the use that we got approval for and that Scott started construction of. And like Kristen said, now we're just kind of stuck in a no man's land where you change letters of an ordinance or change where certain parts of the ordinance are, and we need relief from that. But we're not asking for relief that we didn't previously have. We're just,
I have a great
Also-
deal of respect for Mr. Risbin, and I like him. I like him a lot. He's a good guy. I think his heart's in the right place, and he believes in Count Township. I also kind of think he ended up with something that doesn't really serve him. And, you know, it's been this long effort, and it is, to me, the best use of this property, considering all of the stormwater issues around it and the small space that it is. It's open space. I mean, it's. Yeah, let me
Scott,
just,
come on up.
let me finish one last thing. And this is something that I would have been saying if I lived here in 2016, or if I was on the board. The best place to do anything is on Lincoln Highway, where the land has already been disturbed, where there's already buildings that aren't being used. So no, I understand that. I'm not, you know.
Take the mic.
Got it.
Thank you. Scott.
Again, first, thank you very much for your volunteering, and I really appreciate you going. And Mr. Evans, I like you. So I just wanted to say first and foremost that this project, as Mr. Kelly has said, has been greatly vetted, and it's not. Mr. Kelly is a professional in this industry, as is your township engineer. I'm not an engineer. I never professed to be. I joke with Vic and tell him I'm a junior engineer because I've been through a lot of stuff, and this project has taught me a lot of lessons. That said, the engineers have come together and they essentially vetted this project, and I would not be standing in front of you had we not taken care of the stormwater issues. Sir, I understand your issues as well, and I do believe deep down in the soul, once we do the improvements on this project, it's going to improve Kirk Road and the flows during these big storms. Right now, it's a blank canvas. It's a bunch of dirt with no trees on it, and it's got a basin in the corner, but it's not graded properly because it was just filled dirt placed at the time. When the project is done and it's graded properly, I truly believe it's going to be a much better situation than what is currently there. The use is greatly needed. Chester County Chamber of Commerce had said that 55 and older adult apartments are great need in Chester County. That's fact. You can look at it. That's not just my identification. That is a fact. There are some other improvements that need to be done on the project besides the stormwater. There's some pipe bursting that needs to be done. Mr. Gill and I have been talking about it. That would be off-site work that I would have to do in concert with doing this project that are greatly needed. You have some terracotta pipe that is really old, 40s, 50s installed. We would be doing some pipe bursting on that to improve that as well. The tax base increase for the township, obviously, the dollars and cents there is benefit. No impact on the schools whatsoever when you have 55, but you are getting those tax dollars. The job creation. You're going to create jobs not only building this project, but managing this project. There has to be a maintenance company on a project this size, and there'll be employees, hopefully Thorndale Township employees. There's $120,000 fee in lieu of open space, Mr. Evans, and I know you really love the particular farm close by that needs a lot of work, and I've heard in multiple meetings I've been to, that I believe that money can be used to do improvements on. So all this said, I understand you have a difficult decision, and I do appreciate that. But you have to understand that I've been working on this project essentially since 2009. I brought it to you guys in 2011, dealt with multiple boards, multiple engineers. Well, there's only been a couple constants, Ray being one of them, and he's seen it all. Well, yeah, and I would say that I promise you that I will do a very good job on this project. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Scott, excuse me. Yes, wanna
Jessica.
just state your name again for the folks at home there.
James Curtis. Want to just ask you a question. Do you truly believe, and I'll take your word, do you truly believe that the work that you have planned on this project is going to improve the situation in the culvert that follows behind Park Drive?
With this, the channel there.
Don, could you give him the mic?
I do, and Abby, I don't know if it's easy for you to pull the land development plans up,
Okay.
She can.
but let me just, don't bother. We are, right now, the stream is about 3 feet wide.
Yeah.
Our plans required that it be widened to about 15, 20 feet wide and almost 3 feet of excavation along there.
You know, let me just
Doing a great job.
I don't need you to explain it to me.
Yeah.
It's a simple question.
Mhm.
Do you truly believe that it's
Absolutely.
okay?
Absolutely, and but I'll qualify it and say that we are only able to improve it from Bondsville Road to our bridge
Good.
and about 50 feet below the bridge, and then it's additional permitting that we can't get.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Understood. So what I would say is this, is that I realize how long this project has been going on. I don't know how many years ago it was. I was here, you know, talking about the very same thing. But I will put it to you this way. You guys have been through this so many times and have gone over all of these issues, including this list of waivers, that the only thing I have to do right now is to put my trust in you and say that I believe that you will do what's best for the citizen. You will do what's best for the community. And pardon my French, hell or high water, I will respect the decision. And you know, you've got the support on that.
All right. No, thank you.
I just
All right.
needed to hear from this gentleman here what he had to say.
this is, right now, this is about, you can jump over that creek, right? So the
Yeah,
slide.
yeah.
This is the grading that's gonna be required in there that is 15, 20 feet or so. And it's gonna maintain the main channel, but it widens, it gives this the capacity, come down. This culvert is Bondsville Road, the culvert is, I think it's 3x5, if I remember, or 3x6. Ours is 5x20.
Okay.
Okay, so
So that's
it's the scrutiny that we went through to get there.
Yeah.
It's designed to pass the 100-year storm event, 7.2 inches, not Ida,
Yeah.
but without increasing the flow on this property by 1/100th of a foot.
Right.
So,
Okay.
you know,
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Any other comments? Commissioners? Yes, we have somebody here in the,
Mary
Township building?
Bell,
Mary Ann,
Hi,
welcome.
Marianne.
1 Marshall Drive. I just wanted to check with you guys if you had received the videos that I sent, the flood videos. If you'd be willing to show them. I don't know, you guys maybe have been over there at times when it's flooded, but is that something that you could share?
They were in my.
Don, it was
email.
in your email as well as mine.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I don't think Abby would have it. It's just-
Where you're pulling it up, I have spoke to almost every homeowner. Most people don't that live along Park Drive, and I've spoken to them personally, given my business card to try to help them understand the process. I don't know very many developers.
I think her videos are more on 340 itself and over by Marshall.
They're actually, where the driveway would be.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, my front property too. The bridge to overflowing, that kind of area.
Yeah,
There. So
what do we have?
I just wanted to say too, I'm not an engineer either, believe it or not. And so I went just, by EPA regulations and state regulations, and I'm really concerned with all of these regulations that are in place.
Oh. And that is 340. That's it. Okay, wrong video. That's the, oh,
That's across the street. Where that car is passing.
mhm.
That was one.
Now that,
Period.
Yeah, if you look at the channel, I mean, right
Nasty.
now, there may be, there's some restrictions in the flow going through this creek here. I think it does come in and come across through here. We're gonna confine it. Everything that can get through this culvert will be carried all the way down and then some. So it won't create what they call a backwater condition where the water's not getting through here. It backs up on this pipe, so it overflows the road. So if you remove that and you increase the capacity below the culvert, all of a sudden the water can get through the culvert unobstructed, less likely to overtop the road.
But this even comes from before it gets there. So it comes from the creek
I
on the
mean,
other side.
yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
That's we can't fix upstream problems.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
that's why I'm saying that's still.
And
gonna
I'm
be
not,
an issue,
I'm not
but-
gonna pretend that we're gonna fix
But
flooding.
but it could be a backup, right? If the pipe across the culvert just can't handle it, it's more of a backup.
Right.
So if your suggestion is going to free that up,
Yeah. You will not
could
have a back,
possibly-
what they call a backwater condition,
right,
tailwater condition.
right. I couldn't tell by the video, but that would be my guess at first.
It would improve that situation if it is restricted by that flow, which I imagine it is, because that creek below the box culvert is narrower than the box culvert itself.
Mhm.
Therefore, it's restricted.
Well, I just wanted to say that, there have been several times when this has flooded again, and just, by the EPA, by the regulations, the act, the natural filters that produce, you take care of the sediments and the pollutants were there already. And I just think let's see what else. DEP, the principle's clear. DEP aims to prohibit development immediately adjacent to streams and rivers, lakes and wetlands and other water bodies to avoid land disturbance and impervious cover. And it is a new great deal of impervious area. So it's got to go somewhere. The roof can't take care of it all. I mean, definitely going to have some runoff there.
Lift the bottom and demonstrate through all
Thank you.
when we get our permits, we not only have to sell it to the township and provide all the documentation, all the engineering, we have to do it to the county conservation district,
Right.
and we have to do it through DEP. In this case, we have to do what they call a HECRAS study, which is a floodplain study for this channel and what the impact is here all the way up. So it's been scrutinized to no end.
I understand. I guess it's just this, it was a different board. It was a different time. It's many years later. There are regulations. There are more flooding.
And
No.
the current engineer has also reviewed it and gone back. We've also upped our permits, any permit that had expired. So we had re-upped them, PennDOT, all of them.
I want to agree with the gentleman who brought up gosh, I lost my spot here. You were talking about the stream, the riparian zones, and it's listed as, minor but yet it's going to be a driveway, parking lot, you know, all different things that are gonna affect those zones.
Can I say something to that real quick? So I'm working on other projects in different townships, as I mentioned at the last meeting. And almost every single property that you work on, there's a riparian zone is, you know, because of the way that things have changed over the years, or there is some floodplain activity on almost every single project that I've worked on. And I believe your township engineer at the planning commission meeting, and Ray, you were there, mentioned a couple times that there are current situations in Callan Township where that has happened.
Thank you, Scott.
And then I wanted to ask if you have a plan in place, you know, the BMPs I had sent you that information. Is there an agreement between the builder and the township?
The condition of when it was approved, I believe there was an agreement. It's not finalized because the project obviously is not complete, but there is an agreement of that sort, similar to what you sent over.
Mhm.
I believe those are all conditions. I believe those are all conditions of approval. There's also as part of the NPDS permit, there's a requirement that the stormwater management plan, maintenance plan, and operation plan be recorded at the courthouse. So the responsibility of taking care of this for the long run is on the owner of the property. So that's now a new requirement of the NPDS, is that every project that gets approved under the NPDS has a recorded O&M agreement for the stormwater portions of the project.
Okay, I just wanted to say, I didn't think, you know, an 57 unit apartment building on a 3 acre property really is the best thing for the township right now. Seems like questionable that that's the best thing for us. And the riparian buffer, the wetlands, the stormwater management goals are all an issue. So, thank you for listening.
All right, thank you, Marianne.
Thank you.
Any other comments here in the township building? Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
See ya.
Looking from a distance.
Quick name and address.
Hi, Dan again, 217 Park Drive. This has been a project that's been, I remember getting a letter for it. I moved in 2009, and probably a couple years after we were, I think, starting to see the letters come to it. And we started showing up at some of these meetings because the amount of water that would end up in the backyard at 217, 218, and such down the way. Back then, it was just a thing of looking at and saying, oh, that's getting a little close. We got beachfront property, you know, it's kind of crazy. And then another couple of years later, we get some of these storms again. Like, wait, that's now a little closer. We've got dockside property. And then the next couple of years later. So yes, the changes that constantly happen, which is why the new codes come in and we question it. And though if the project had moved a little faster and the building would already be there, do I think I would not have happened or have happened, or who knows? I think it still would have flooded my house, and I don't know if it'd have been worse if your building would have been there, or better, or maybe it would have only gone up 6 inches in there instead of 18. Who knows? So but it does give me pause, because even without the big, I watched 3 inches, 4 inches, or 5 inches, not the 7 inches you talked about. I watch it fill up that bottom corner. I watch it fill up my backyard. I've now watched it come in and come from the side yard from the apartments and all that. And I hear you say, well, we'll widen this part of this, but that's all we're going to widen because that area is other permits and beyond this. So it's like, okay, this is wide because that's smaller now. So all this water going here, try and get into the smaller area. So let it overflow there and come down around another way. And it comes. And so it's, you know, I woke up today and every day that there's a thing, I watch the news and, you know, Cecily Kynan or Sharon in the morning says, hey, guess what? Flash flood warning today. I grit my teeth, you know. I walk around all day looking at the storms and going to the radar and looking at it and saying, hopefully not today. And I don't think it'll happen. But that's also how we get some of these waivers in place because we believe in the fact that things won't happen and then they do. And that's how we then look at them. And again, I don't think the building being there would have changed Ida. I still think my house will flood because you're right. 11 inches of water. Gotta go somewhere. But I also worry that the building being there will change what 6 inches of water will. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Scott, did you want to,
I just wanted to say.
just a mic, just if you have a mic.
I just wanted to say, very respectfully, I do feel your pain, but this property right now, it's not infiltrating the way it exists right now. If we do build it with a green roof and it's graded properly, the way it's supposed to be graded, and the channel is built, I'm not saying you're not going to get water to the basement. And we can only control what's on our property, but it's going to improve the situation.
Fingers crossed. As they say, reaction, every action has a reason.
I hope I'm invited to your house for Christmas. So.
Don't have.
Hang on.
Any other comments here in the township building? Kathy, come on up.
I'm up from your area. 931 Bonsville Road, Kathy Callahan. I can't even imagine, it would blow you away if you saw September 1st, 2021. Because we have a 16-foot wall down to the water from our house, and it came over the wall. Our furniture, everything was in the backyard floating. And at that time, the bridge, remember the bridge was out. The bridge, I mean, I'm sorry, they took the bridge out. So then we're on a V, it came Bonsville and it came down quickly. It was like torpedoes with tree branches that are along the stockade and everything, just torpedoes into everywhere and dammed up the edges of the bridge. I mean, it was absolutely insane. And all I kept thinking is, oh my God, I'm the luckiest person in the world because I'm up here and not down lower. So I just had to say that because even today, it would blow you away how fast that water goes. Just had to say that. Sorry.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
Any other comments here in the township building? This time, anyone on Zoom? All right, we'll take a vote. I will do it one at a time.
Right.
Just in case any commissioner has an issue with one or two. Just in case, but we are starting with G, stormwater management waivers, letter G. All right, entertain a motion to approve letter G.
Make a motion.
So moved. Do I have a second? Do I have a second? I'm allowed to second, right?
Yeah.
I'll second that. All right. All in favor? Say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
Jane, did I get a no from you?
Yes, I oppose.
Okay, 1-4. All right, letter H, infiltration requirements. Entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Moved. Do I have a second?
Infiltration.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor? Say aye.
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 No.
All opposed?
No.
No.
Hey, it's 2-3. All right, denied. Letter H, the 24-hour on-site detonation. You see that?
Well, we just.
No, that's the 135.
That we do
306.
infiltration.
Oh, right.
That is the 24-hour
Want to say
Site.
attenuation.
attenuation. Thank you. All right. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved. I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
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 No.
All opposed?
No.
No.
Aye. No.
All right, 2 to 3. Letter J. Section 135-3311, stormwater covert cover assumption. Sorry, getting tired. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second? I will second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
No.
No. No.
4. 1 to 4. Not looking good. Letter K. Stormwater sewer size and slope change. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
And moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
No. No.
3 to 2. Letter L. Basin design development.
So moved.
So moved. Have a second? Second that. All in favor? Say aye. All opposed?
No.
No.
No. No.
0 to 5. Letter M. Basin location and discharge.
So moved.
Moved. Do I have a second? I'll second that. All in favor? Say aye. I'll do an aye. All opposed?
No.
Opposed?
No.
No.
1 to 4, denied. Letter N, basin top of berm width. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Moved. Second? I will second that. All in favor, say aye. All opposed?
No.
Opposed?
No.
No.
That's a 0 to 5. Concerned about that berm width. Letter O, bottom of basin slope. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second? I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
No. No.
2 to 3. Denied. Letter P, basin riser design. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
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 Denied. 2 to 3. Entertain a motion for Q, emergency spillway construction.
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. I don't have an issue with that. Aye. And opposed?
No.
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 Aye. Denied. 1 to 4. Letter R, section 135-311, the minimum separation distance. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
No.
No.
No. No.
No. All right. No. Denied. 0 to 5. And the last one is S, minimum separation distance. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved. I'll second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed?
No.
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 No. All right, that is denied. 0 to 5. And that was it. Understood. Thank you so much. All right. Next on the agenda. Oh, Kristen Camp, Miss Camp, I
Yes,
think that was it for you.
I think that's it. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Enjoy your
Great
time.
night,
Thank you so
Kristen.
much.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Good evening.
All right. Next on the agenda is engineering project update. Do we have Ross online?
Good evening, commissioners.
Hey, Ross.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good.
Okay.
Great. So I just wanted to stop in and give you some updates about some of the capital projects that are ongoing. There's no action items, so it's just a verbal update. So I was just going to share my screen here to show the list of projects so you can see what we're going to talk about.
And Ross, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think this is an excellent idea. I really appreciate this coming in, halfway through the year, giving our folks a quick update. I really appreciate that. Good idea.
Sure. Absolutely. Happy to do it. So to start out, the first project here is the Geo Carlson Boulevard retaining wall. So I think you all may recall that construction was completed previously this year, roughly 3 to 4 months ago. And there were some concern expressed about the possibility that the road may have been, it seemed like it may have sunk a little bit, or maybe the curb shifted a little bit. So what we did was we established some survey monitoring points in both the curb and the new retaining wall. And we've also, following construction, we visually observed the site several times over the period of intervals of a few weeks. And we haven't witnessed anything that leads us to believe that there's still movement. But what we are doing is with those monitoring points installed, we're planning to go out within the next few weeks and survey all of those monitoring points. And that would give us some actual true data about if there's been any movement whatsoever. So just wanted to provide you that update that we're following through on that concern. And then presumably if there's no movement, what we would recommend is that that area of pavement could be included in one of the township's paving projects, and that could be repaved and a nice even cross slope established for the road. And at that time, we would not expect any further, if there wouldn't be any sinking of the road or anything like that if we've established that everything's stable and not moving. The second item is the 2025 road program. So we now have the solicitor's approval for all of the agreements, bonds, and insurance documents. So I'll be bringing those contracts to the township the beginning of next week. And so the contracts can be signed, and then we can move to the construction phase. The Thorndale Fire Company paving and drainage improvements. We've completed our preliminary design for the drainage piping and paving improvements, and we're just about finished with the cost estimate for that. So we should have that over to the township staff, and I would say in the next 2 business days. So that's something that would probably be discussed at a meeting I would anticipate in not too long. The number 4 is the Geo Carlson Boulevard culverts and the stream bank stabilization. These are over near Beaver Run Road and just south of the 30 bypass. So there's like 2 components to the project. So relating to the culverts, we've designed a head wall structure for the upstream end of the culverts there so that it can flatten out the area for the possible future addition of a sidewalk. And we'll be applying for a permit amendment for that shortly. And then the second element of the overall project in that area is a stream bank stabilization. And we recently completed some soil test pits where we excavated and did soil testing. And now we have data to support the design of a stream bank stabilization wall. So we're proceeding with the wall design as well as the site plans for that. The Beaver Creek Trail Segment 5. I'm sure Don can probably provide better insight about this, but he did let me know that that the township received some grant funding for this project. So that's very exciting. And some of the work that we've been ongoing the past couple months is the design of the pedestrian bridge that would cross over the creek. So that bridge design is mostly complete, and then we're going to be moving back into some of the stormwater management design shortly for that. Item 6 is the Cowan Meeting House Road bridge repairs. So that's essentially that emergency repair project that we're looking to complete as soon as possible. So a status update for that is that the contractor, their bonds and insurance and agreements are on their way to our office right now. And we're also just awaiting the DEP to issue the permit that we need for that. So as soon as those items are in line, then we would be moving right to construction for those repairs. The Spackman Davis farmhouse, the roof project is, you could basically call it 99% complete. There's still, our structural team is looking into a question about the snow guards on the roof. They just want to make sure that we have everything that's needed to prevent any snow that accumulates on the roof from sliding out. So we just need to coordinate that one last question with the contractor, and we'll be trying to wrap that up shortly. But the project overall is essentially complete, but we do need to address that last topic. And then project 8 is the Hazelwood Avenue guide rail and erosion gully repair. So we completed our site survey. We have the erosion repair and storm drainage improvements. The design for those components is essentially complete. We'll just need to make them consistent with what we have to do for the guide rail. We've moved the guide rail design over to our transportation department. So I think within a few weeks, we should have a mostly complete plan set for that project. So that's proceeding pretty rapidly, I would say. So those were the updates that I wanted to give you tonight, and happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Great update there, Ross. Commissioners, any comments?
Yeah, nothing but thank yous to Ross.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross.
Anyone here in the township building? Any comments for Ross? Ross, they are jumping up and down. They are so excited about your report. So anyone
Excellent.
in Zoom? Any comments? Perfect. Thank you so much, Ross. I appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Looking forward
Absolutely.
to finishing most of these items.
That sounds great. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
You too. Take care, Ross. All right. Meat and potatoes. We can go to the director's reports. Let's start with the fire company.
Commissioners, good evening. You get the second string this week. Sorry about that.
All right.
Chief Taylor's out of town for a couple of days, so he asked if I'd cover. I believe he provided the monthly report. First, I'll ask if there's any questions on that. All right, nothing from that. Then the one thing I would like to add, we've had a lot of communication tonight about flooding, is to let you know that the fire company has purchased and placed into service 2 rubberized boats. They're not motorized, but they are being used in the event to add to our arsenal of things to go out and help get people out of these flooded areas, specifically around the culverts and things when they get into the underpasses and stuff like that. But they can be used anywhere within the township, and we have that. So we fortunately got them, and we're able to put them into place for the July 7th or 8th or 9th incidents. We had it ready to go today. Fortunately, we did not get what was anticipated, but we're ready to go with anything that happens. Other than that, then I don't really have anything else to cover. And thank you all. We appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Minquist.
Hmm.
Welcome.
Good evening, commissioners. For the month of June, our reports in your packet, I believe. For the month of June, the weather was warm, and so was the call volume for our crews. While we
Segue.
try better next month, PowerPoint, Abby, can you help me out? While we experienced a 21% decrease in call volume compared to May, it's important to highlight that June 2025 still marked a 22% increase year to date compared to 2024. Quick snapshot, we did 476 calls, 245 were out of the ALS service, 231 were BLS service, with 273 in total transports. So year to date is 3,197. Calhoun Township has been and will always be our biggest stakeholder in call volume. 27% were here, right here in town.
And we're your biggest fan.
You are our
You-
biggest fan. We love everybody equally, but you are our biggest fan. Across the 5 municipalities we serve exclusively, call volume increased by an average of 21%. which was a helpful retreat for our teams, but it was still a reflective of the high demand that's currently being put on our teams. As far as offload times, our wait time has gotten a lot better. We're at 10.5 minutes now. I know beginning of the year we were 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So that's great. So working with leadership at the facilities has really helped with that. As far as we did see a notable uptick in critically ill patients this month, and we never want to see that. We want to see everybody happy, healthy. But because of that, our crew stepped up professionalism, compassion when it mattered the most. Despite ongoing challenges, whether that's staffing shortages, fluctuations, the hospital delays, or the complexity of the call volume, providers continue to rise to the occasion. I know I'm personally proud of them, and I'm sure everybody in this room can say that they're proud of our providers. I'm grateful for your support as our municipal leaders and the residents as we continue to navigate this demanding landscape. So if there's no questions, I'll have a seat, but I'll come back with a better joke next month.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for your support at picnic. Really much appreciated.
Absolutely. I heard it was a good time. Our people loved it, so we're always here for you.
Next, Ingleside Golf Course.
Yeah.
Nicole, welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I gave you guys a report. Last month I was super excited to report on May's numbers because they set some records, which was great. But then June just went and decided to blow those away.
Wow.
We've over 4,000 golfers played Ingleside
Yeah.
in June.
That's wild.
And our revenue hit $146,000. It was fantastic. It was a ton of fun. Just packed every day. The weather wasn't great though for growing grass, or the staff that had to work in the heat. And with this big increase in golfers, the golf course takes a beating. It really does. There's a lot of foot traffic on very small areas, a lot of cart traffic, and then the heat, and then the humidity that's combined with the big rainstorms. Is a bad recipe for growing grass, especially at 1/8 of an inch on the greens. So we had some damage. We had to, we chased some dry areas, and then we chased some flooding. We chased some tree damage. Our maintenance staff at Ingleside is phenomenal, led primarily by Mike Fraggle, who you all are familiar with. He's doing a phenomenal job. So it's great. We're happy. We also opened registration for our first ever summer camp. Mr. Joel Cummings, our golf professional, is leading that charge, along with John Grant. And so far, I think there were 12 or so registered, so it's exciting. We're excited. That's pretty much all that's going on at Ingleside. We're happy for the rain that just came, and happy for some cooler weather tomorrow.
That's good to hear.
I was at Lafayette's Ball in Westchester on Saturday night, and mixed in amongst all the people in 1825 attire was a gentleman who told me he plays golf at Ingleside every morning.
Do you recall his name?
I do. I don't know if I should say it publicly.
Oh, okay,
though.
sure.
I'll
We'll
tell
talk
ya.
about
Yeah.
it later. Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Of course.
And I do know I've seen some Facebook posts about the kids and
Yes.
what Joel is doing with them. So of course, I shouldn't be saying this with our police chief here, but I usually check it while I'm driving. So I can't like it.
You mean when
Am
you're
I incriminating myself at this time?
We didn't hear a thing.
When you're driving through a flooded road.
Exactly.
Oh.
So I'll make sure that I like it next time, but yeah, it's very nice to see.
I will have
Great.
I will have plenty
Absolutely.
more on how the camp went at my report next month.
Okay,
Excellent.
All right.
good, good. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
The kids look like they're having a great time too. All right. We can delete that
Yes,
part of it.
yes.
All right, next, Public Works. Johnny's not able to make it. Okay.
Fortunately, Johnny wasn't able to make it to the meeting tonight, had an emergency come up. But just wanted me to mention they're working in advance of the road program, fixing out some of the stormwater culverts and inlets, swapping those out, prep. And we're gonna get them over to help out at the golf course to take on some of those projects in the near future.
All right,
Great.
good.
Fantastic. Look
Yep.
at that.
Ooh.
Wow.
In that heat, they're hard work.
These guys are diehards. What street is that? Okay. Nice. Got a good team there. Right, building life and safety.
Boating life and safety.
Building and life safety.
Oh.
Building life and safety.
We're doing boating.
For
life.
whom?
Yeah, boating.
Commissioners, permits, rentals and code enforcement stayed pretty constant, throughout the month of June. Our two large residential, developments are very active. Hills at Thorndale Woods, we're issuing residential building permits, single family dwelling permits almost, weekly, and townhome, permits as well.
Good.
My place continues, now that they have the site work done, for phase 3 and started in phase 4. They're starting foundations and, townhomes in phase 3. So they're moving right along. The Cohen project has a special exception application submitted that's scheduled for September 4th. I believe you guys know that Mainline Health, their land development plan is in review, and they'll be at the PC meeting this month. Emergency management will finally, I'll be able to give some update on Storm Ida, other than we're waiting to hear later on the agenda. Emergency services, to the chief's point, continue to develop a drone program guidelines. The drone pilot observation certification course was held June 28th. We had 4 staff get certified with a 9 total participants of 9 from across the county. And our public education and outreach with assistance from the fire company, we participated in the CCIU Stanley K. Landis Water Day. Apparently, I'm probably because of the heat, but across the county, we're getting these calls for what a bunch of schools and daycares are calling Water Day. So they want you to come out and squirt the kids with the fire truck. So that's it for now.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ray, did Farmhouse submit?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Farmhouse resubmitted. There was a couple minor comments, and actually those comments were just addressed actually within 2 weeks. So we just received that. They do have their letter of credit secured and in. So now I think the last thing we're waiting for is a final review from Lowell, and we're waiting for the land development agreements, financial and security and all that. So I believe their lawyer and our solicitor are working on those. So as I discussed with the owner the other day, we're close.
Fine. Do they go planning commission and board again, or?
No,
just-
they're done.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're done. So they have an approval, final approval from you guys, pending just those minor comments that we're still working out.
Fine. Town keeps getting better.
And the
Your township.
hospital has a zoning variance scheduled.
You had to bring that
Yeah.
up. didn't you? So the hospital complex, as some people know, the hospital complex was purchased by Regal Builders. And, so we did get permits for all those UNOs. And they just submitted, which would be on next month's, but they did submit, for a zoning variance. The gist of that zoning variance is, it's all one parcel. So there's multiple buildings, multiple similar uses on the property already that were held under, obviously, multiple different hospital, entities. The new owner wants to try to, he has expressed wanting to utilize those buildings to keep those buildings alive and active. And, because it's all under one parcel, technically you can't have all these different uses. Like it either has to be a medical use with associated uses. So Brandywine Hospital was there, doctors' medical offices, some business offices associated with those doctors. Now he has people interested to, as an example, a CrossFit gym wanted to use the hangar. Obviously, they want the buildings to be in use. They want to recoup some, some money, obviously. They came and talked to me and, as a zoning officer, I was a little uncomfortable, doing it. Because it's on one parcel and that was not a use that was ever established. So what they're asking is the zoning hearing board to give them a variance to have multiple uses on one parcel. As you remember, commissioners, we talked about that at the task force meeting a couple times. This is not the only time we've ever had this request for other places. So it'll be kind of interesting to see where that goes. I guess the plus to keep in mind is there's a fairly limited amount of uses in that zoning district that are allowed by right. Most of the intensive uses are, conditional uses. So based on the variance they requested, even if they got that variance, all those conditional uses, if that was a tenant, would have to come back to the Board of Commissioners.
So do they have current tenant possibilities, or are they just trying to get a variance?
They had one for sure. They had one, the CrossFit gym, that wanted to go in the hangar. And in conversations, they have people that are kind of knocking on their door for use.
Okay. So but they don't have, like when they submit this, they won't have specific.
No,
uses
no,
tied to this
no.
is just to allow them to have multiple different uses. On the
Yeah,
property.
specifically the zoning ordinance, they are asking for multiple uses, and that there is wording in there in the cover sheet about they would seek a variance to have multiple uses. They wouldn't have to go back for a variance each time it was a tenant change. It would follow the typical tenant change procedure. Again, unless it was a use that was a conditional use, then they would have to follow the normal conditional use process.
Question. This is probably a stupid question, but if this something like this were to be granted, and someone goes in as a gym, are they establishing that use there? And then if the zoning were to change, that they would be grandfathered in?
That's correct.
I'll ask one other question and shut up. In your professional opinion, and I should probably ask the chief this as well, before tomorrow night's game, to the Phillies DFA Max Kepler and bring up Justin Crawford?
I don't know. It's a tough question. I'm not sure if I'm prepared to answer that. Just back to your point, not to belay this, but that is one thing that potentially the ZHB could have input on.
Yeah.
We can be a party, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. At any given point, the board would direct the township can. It is a de facto party as through the ZHB, but be more active than that, either to support or oppose a request.
I think maybe we need more input from Kristen on that, but I think at the very minimum, I think we should send Kristen to that zoning hearing.
That's September 4th.
I believe it is, yes, Thursday.
Keep the date open. Oh, we have a board meeting, don't we? No.
No.
No, I'll keep that date open.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Yep, Tuesday after the holiday. All right, thank you, Ray.
You start.
Police Department,
Good evening.
Chief, good evening.
Abby, if you wouldn't mind pulling up that chart graph.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh.
There we go.
So
Well, my.
the Chester County Intermediate Unit isn't a standalone topic for discussion tonight, so I'll be brief. The line on the left is indicative of total service calls, and you can't read the line. Well, thank you, Abby. On the bottom goes from 2013 through 2025, and you could see back in 2013 we were around 90 service calls, and for the past 2 years we have been north of 400 calls each year for the past 2 years. The drop in 2000 obviously is a result of COVID. Sometime next month, mid-August, I believe, we have a scheduled walkthrough at those facilities here in the township with the sheriff's office. It's my understanding that school resource officer partnership between the intermediate unit and the sheriff's office is going to happen. Hopefully I'll have more information to report on next month's meeting. My hope is that even though these discussions now have gone on for a year and sometimes are painful to talk about, I hope that the intermediate unit leadership has finally recognized that they have a serious problem there and have decided to take some action to address it, because the issues inside that school have clearly created a public safety threat for the township. So I hope the school resource officer partnership is successful. The impact on services doesn't just impact or affect the police department. It has a huge impact on fire and EMS as well. So I truly hope that program is successful. Milestones in June: Detective Corporal John Regan, 17 years of service. Officer Renine Mockbell, 2 years of service. Officer Charles Norwood would have had 2 years of service, but he's still deployed in Africa. The vehicle graphic, Abby, if you don't mind.
Wow.
Slightly new look for the marked patrol cars. That graphic is brighter, and Rick Milne doesn't have to constantly resize the graphic based on the type of vehicle, because we have the Explorers, we have the F-150 pickup trucks, and next month we're going to take delivery of our first fully electric 500 horsepower Chevy Blazer patrol vehicle.
Wow.
Which we ordered back in October and finally has arrived at the dealership. So we're looking forward to that. And since he doesn't have to resize for each different type of vehicle, it's actually more cost effective. So National Night Out was mentioned earlier, next Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Callan Park. We will be one of about 17,000 communities across the United States and Canada that will be hosting an event next Tuesday night. This will be our 7th. We've won 5 national awards. So Tracy, Abby, Jessica have put a lot of time and effort into it, and I'm no pressure, but I'm sure you will outdo yourself again this year.
They brought in a helicopter. I think they already did.
Yeah.
Right.
You gonna be in it?
We're gonna airlift them out.
That's all I have unless you have any question.
I want to thank you, again, for providing, the ATV and officers for the picnic. It
Our
was
pleasure.
wonderful to
Glad
have
the
them.
event worked out.
Fantastic.
It'll be, you'll see it at, it'll be at, National Night Out again. on
Excellent.
Tuesday.
Let Katie know.
All right, thank you, Chief. And last but not least, community enhancement.
Community enhancement.
Pat.
So the last few months have just been lots and lots of events, which is great. Planning for future events, executing current events, talking about past events. So Art in the Park has been greatly successful this year. Look at this enormous crowd. This was just terrific because one of our Parks and Rec volunteers, Liz, it was all her idea. She has basically executed it single-handedly. She comes up with a different project every single time. And we've got tons of kids that come back week after week after week and are so excited to do whatever Liz has in store. And you might remember that part of the impetus for this was to create artwork for the art show that will be happening at Community Day. So everybody, adults and kids alike, has the option at the end of Art in the Park to leave their works with us. They will be going on display at the Coatesville Library again this year, and then, weather permitting, we'll hang them all up at Community Day as well. So everyone will get to see them. Yay! That's been very cool. So we all got to experience the meadow in all its glory. And we're really excited about our $5,000 grant from PICO that will allow us to complete the planting of the rest of that acreage back there. So it will be 6 times as cool as it is right now, approximately. So that's something to look forward to. One photo I got from the picnic, there you all were there. It was great, excellent time. Lots of good stuff in the works for next year as well. And just a update on our communications. We continue to send out loads of newsletters. Actually, today there was a group email from a number of other communications folks from different municipalities asking what everybody does for their newsletters. And this is mean, but I was astonished at how many municipalities are only sending them out once or twice a year. And I just don't know how that's effective. So, we have had to go from 4 pages to 6 pages most months just because all of the other directors are contributing. We've now got boards of commission contributing, so it's just gonna keep getting newsier. And yeah, social media, always exciting. Jess has been really emphasizing Instagram posts, which lagged behind Facebook pretty substantially for us, and now is going to catch up, I think. And I always think it's interesting to see our top post from the month. And for both Facebook and Instagram, it was the merry-go-round, which I think you probably all saw, but she did a great job with that. So I think, oh, there's Paul. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun events. So a reminder, not only is National Night Out next Tuesday, on Friday we have Wonka viewing in the park. Crafts beforehand that are Wonka related and free popcorn for everyone and a fun movie. So it'll be a big week. And that's all I have unless you have any questions.
A side note on Wonka.
Yeah.
Do you know that the young actor that played Charlie in the original Willy Wonka never acted again?
I did
That's
not
the
know that.
only thing he did. He became a veterinarian. Yes, yes, yes.
How about
Spent
that?
his life as a veterinarian. We gotta talk.
William Osborne, right?
Yes. What is Cowan Township? Your Cowan Township.
Something to be said for that everlasting gobstopper, right?
Oh,
Took me a minute to remember that.
it's the blueberry pie.
Abby, thank you so much. And directors, thank you. We can move on to the finance Department, do we have Lisa online?
Wasn't sure. She reached out. Unfortunately, she also had an emergency this evening. Had received an email after hours. She was going to try to get on, but unfortunately was not able. I know she did submit a report. You
Yeah.
should have
Yeah.
her report in your packet. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to reply.
Commissioners, any comments, questions? Now we can move
No.
on to the checks. We have a check run 54,291, 54,457 with manual check at 317. There's no questions or comments. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved,
Second.
moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Jane still online? Jane, you there?
Yay.
Get an aye. Maybe. I'm gonna have to approve it 3-0. Lorraine had stepped out. All right, so we'll go 3-0. But they've been approved. Township manager. Well, we got some exciting stuff here.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Haven't seen this word FEMA in a while.
Well, I'll defer to the FEMA expert on the details, but some good news.
Not sure if anybody's a FEMA expert, but,
Including those people who work for FEMA.
and they work at FEMA, that's correct. And sometimes, trust me, over, since 2021, I have to wonder if that's true as well. So I am happy to report that after, 4 years, we received documentation on our reimbursements. We have had, 3 installment of reimbursements. Those 3 trickle in over, the last couple of years. One was in 2022, one was in 2023, and one was just, July of this year. They were mainly for emergency actions that we took during the storm, public works, fire, police, the use of vehicles, all that, and debris removal. So that money did trickle in, totaling, about $115,696. Well, I'll get to that point in a minute, but let me just jump to the chase. It's worth mentioning that when we borrowed that $8 million, it was on estimates for all damage that we noted over the next couple days after Ida. Once we started submitting to FEMA, we found some projects did not meet their qualifications.
Right.
Meaning we couldn't put in for those reimbursements. Doesn't mean we ignored those Ida projects. We still got cost estimates. We still borrowed the money, and some of those projects are completed. Some of those are actually still in the works after all this time. So it's worth noting that. But we expended $3,737,989.09 in FEMA projects. We have gotten a total reimbursement. Some of this we've already received, some we're about ready to receive, of $1,324,068.20. That's a 35% return reimbursement. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, and anybody that hasn't dealt with FEMA, I know the chief lived it before. I'm pretty happy to get 35% because they tried hard not to give us 35%, in my opinion. But we still have projects that need completed that weren't FEMA eligible. So those projects, Ross spoke to them earlier. The 2 remaining projects that were part of that initial evaluation are the Humpton Lynn stream, and then the Beaver over at across Geo Carlson at Beaver Run. We're hoping sometime in the next couple months we'll have some preliminary cost estimates for those. But we're looking at a couple $1 million to get both of those completed potentially. So this, a little over $1.3 million will help get us to that goal.
Municipal bridge wasn't covered, was it?
Yes.
Oh, it was?
Yes, municipal bridge was covered. It ended up costing us, 1,286,880.
Would they reimburse us for that?
So I don't have the breakdown. I can do that. And we were gonna do that sometime after all the money comes in. We'll break down each one, because it's a lot of documents.
I think it'd be nice to see too, what we considered Ida damage and what FEMA.
Yeah. And I do,
We're gonna spend over $8 million.
Yeah.
that,
And they only,
that's correct.
associated $3 million worth.
That's correct. And again, you know, I was hoping to at some point put focus on that specifically, because some of that reimbursement is FEMA only reimburse or only approves to IDA condition. So as an example, if during the whole process of evaluating and repairing something, we recognize obviously it was not okay prior to IDA, why would we return it to pre-IDA conditions? So but they only approve that amount, and they determine how much they're gonna pay that amount. Then we fought to get hazard mitigation grant money as well. So hazard mitigation grant money is money to bring it up to today's standards. And again, same thing, they only pay pennies on the dollar for that, but at least we fought. I will say when last year when FEMA came to me and presented what they were going to give us as reimbursements, my opinion was that it was very low, and I asked for a reevaluation. So, you know, I said no, that because they wanted me to accept, you know, a dollar amount, and I said I disagree. I think, you know, we've talked for 4 years that the amount was going to be more than that. So they, in defense of them, they went back, reevaluated. We evaluated, came back and gave us additional funds, and that's how we came up with what we had.
Thank you for fighting for that, Ray.
Sure.
Appreciate that. Ray. All right, commissioners, any comments on this? Reach out to the township here. Anyone here? Any comments?
They're all running for the doors.
Good job. Oh, Kathy? Yeah, come on. Yeah, I was born. It was a while ago.
We did. Yeah, you mean after it was replaced? Yeah, after the storm, we ate that cost. Now yeah. So some of that was reimbursed from FEMA. Some of that is the 115,696. So we did get some money, but only because it was considered immediate emergency repair.
Thanks, Kathy.
Very good. Anyone in Zoom? Thank you, Ray. Well, this is a topic everyone's excited about. The Beaver Creek Trail. Who's taking this one?
I'll start it, and of course, happy as anything to add, because I know this project has been in the works for quite some time. As commissioners, as you know, with the segment 5 of the Beaver Creek Trail, that's the section that would connect the borough of Downingtown Township line to Lloyd Park and extend down to Lloyd Ave. We submitted a number of grants, one to the county, and then one through the Commonwealth, DCNR, to help fund the construction of that project. We received word this week that the full amount of our county request, $250,000 was approved.
Wow, that's exciting.
And don't want to jinx it, but usually there's some coordination or communication between the state and the county. So with any luck, by when the state budget is finally passed, we'll hear back on that fund as well, and that is for $500,000. So with that project moving forward, I took the opportunity just to look at some of the other grants we have in the works, and really quickly between various infrastructure projects, work associated with the fire company. It comes out to just back of the envelope about $3.4 million in requests pending consideration. So with any luck, we'll be able to bring in some funds to help move these projects forward.
All right. Abby is gonna chime in. Oh, no.
Yay.
That section of the trail is gonna be a very expensive section, but it is gonna provide immediate benefit to the community, not just in Callan Township, but the entire region. It's really, it's opening that park up and relieving some of the traffic on Lloyd with the one lane bridge. It's gonna have a great deal of improvements and immediately on cutting that ribbon, which hopefully we'll be able to do very shortly.
Yeah, and it does include improvements to the dog park, just as a matter of course, along the trail. So hopefully everybody will be happy.
It's good to hear. And this is the beginning of connecting Downingtown to Coatesville. And they need to go through
Right.
Callan Township to do that.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Move on. Oh, why don't I ask the residents here? Any comments? Anyone planning on using this trail? They're all
Yeah.
jumping up and
I
down here.
plan to use it.
Yep.
I know who else is gonna use it.
Tony,
Tony,
Tony. Where is Tony? When we need him.
he didn't read the agenda. He would have been here.
Anyone in
Yeah.
Zoom? No comments. All right, next. Is the Ingleside Golf Course liquor license expansion done?
Thank you, commissioners. As you recall from the workshop meeting, there was a request, really driven from members of and customers of the golf course to expand the liquor license. Currently, the license that the golf course has allows for distribution and sale of beer, malt, and things of that sort. This would be to allow certain seltzers and to expand just what the golf course would be able to offer. I know there were a number of questions that came up at that meeting from the board. We're still, I apologize, but we're still waiting for answers on some of that information. In order to fully present this for the board's consideration, if it would be possible, I'd recommend tabling for this period of time, and then we'll be able to hopefully get that information in the very near future for your full consideration.
I moved the
Understandable.
table.
I entertain the motion to move, then do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It has been tabled. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Next, board minutes for July 10th. We all had a chance to read those, go over them. Any comments, questions, changes needed? If not, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Young, second by Commissioner Evans. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Board minutes have been approved. Did we lose Jane? I'm just not hearing.
She there?
Okay, just make sure. I mean, we're almost done here. Additional business.
Hmm.
I mean, you don't have to fight to get to the microphone. And at this time, public comment? No public comment at this time. Entertain a motion to
moved.
adjourn.
Second.
So move, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you so much, everyone. See you all next Tuesday.
That's great.